Now we are going to discuss important articles of the Constitution. So we will read normally, okay? Article first talk about name and territory of the Union. Okay. Article 2 talks about admission or establishment of new state. For example, Sikkim has been admitted in India. Third is formation of new state and alteration of areas, boundaries, or name of existing state. So this is uh, for the internal state of the India. Okay. 5 talk about citizenship as the component of constitutional. 14th, equality before law. 15th, prohibition of discrimination on the ground of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth. 16, equal opportunity in matter of public employment. 17, abolishment of untouchability. 18, abolition of title. 19, protection of certain rights regarding freedom of speech, etc. 20, protection in respect of conviction for offences. 21, talk about protection of life and personal liberty. 21A, right to elementary education. 22, protection against arrest and detention in certain cases. 23 talks about prohibition of traffic in human being and forced labor. 24 talk about freedom of conscience. Sorry. 24 talks about prohibition of employment of children in factories. 25 freedom of conscience and free profess, practice and propagate the religion. 26 freedom to manage religious affairs. 27 freedom as to payment of taxes, promotion of any particular religion. 27 freedom as to attendance at religious instruction or religious worship in certain educational institution. 29 protection of interest of minorities. 30 right of minorities to establish and administer educational institution. 32 remedies of enforcement of fundamental rights including writs. 38 state to ensure a social order for a promotion of welfare and of the people. 39 certain principle of policy to be followed by the state. 39A equal justice and free legal aid. 40 organization of village panchayat. 41 right work to education and public assistance in certain classes. 43 living wages etc. for workers. 44 union civil code for citizens. 45 provisions for early childhood care and free compulsory education to children below the age of 6 years. 48 organization of agriculture and animal husbandry. 48A protection and improvement of environment and safe guarding forest and wildlife. 49 protection of monuments and place and objects of national importance. 50 separation of judicial from executive. 51 promotion of international peace and security. Then 51A fundamental duties. 52 President of India. 53 executive power of the Union. 54 election of president. 55 manner of election of president. 57 eligibility of re-election. 58 qualification for election as a president. 60 oath and affirmation by the president. 61 procedure for impeachment of the president. 63 the vice president of India. 64 the vice president to be ex officio chairman of the Council of State. 66 election of vice president. 70 discharge president's function in other contingencies. 72 power of president to grant pardon etc. and to suspend, remit or commute sentences in certain cases. 74 council for ministers to aid and advise president. 75 other provision as to ministers. 75 1 the prime minister shall be appointed by the president and other ministers shall be appointed by the president on advice of prime minister. 76 attorney general. 79 constitution of parliament. 80 composition of council of state. 81 composition of house of people. 83 duration of house of parliament. 84 qualification of membership of parliament. 85 session for parliament prorogation and resolution. 89 the chairman deputy chairman of the council state. 93 the speaker deputy speaker of the house and the people. 100 voting in House power of House to act notwithstanding vacancies or quorum. 108 joint sitting of both House in certain classes. 109 special procedure in respect to money bill. 110 definition of money bill. 111 assent to the bill. 112 annual financial statement. 114 appropriate bill. 116 vote on account, vote of credit, expectation grant. 117 special provision as to finance bill. 122 court not to inquire into proceeding of parliament. 123 power to president to promulgate ordinance during recess of parliament. 140 124 establishment and constitution of Supreme Court. 129 Supreme Court to be a court of record. 137 review of judgment or judge ordered by Supreme Court. 143 power of president to consult Supreme Court. 148 comptroller and auditor general of India. 153 governors of state. 154 executive power of the state. 155 appointment of governor. 161 power governor grant pardon and to suspend limit of commute sentences in certain classes. 143 Council of Ministers to aid and advise Governor. 164 other provisions as to ministers. Then 165 Advocate General for State. 167 Duties of Chief Minister with respect to firming the information to the Governor, etc. 169 Abolition or creation of Legislative Council in the state. 174 Session of State Legislature Prorogation and Dissolution. 200 Assent of the Bill. 201 Bill reserved for consideration of the President. 213 Power to Governor promulgate ordinance during decision of legislation. Okay. 213. Okay. 214 High Court of for State. 215 High Court to be Court of Record. 216 Constitution of High Court. 217 Appointment and condition of the office of a judge in High Court. 226 Power of High Court to issue certain writs. 231 Establishment of Common High Court for two or more states. 233 Appointment of District Judge. 239A The provision contained in this article applicable to Union Territory of Pondicherry shall also apply to Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. 239AA Special provision with respect to Delhi. 241 High Court for Union Territories. 243A Gram Sabha. 243B Constitution of Panchayat. 243H Power to impose tax by fund and panchayat. 243K Election to the panchayat. 243Z Audit to account for municipalities. 243ZA Election to the municipalities. 243ZZ Committee for district planning. 243ZI Incorporation of cooperative societies. 249 Power to Parliament to legislate with respect to matter in state less than national interest. 253 Legislation for giving effect to international government. 262 Adjudication for disputes related to water interstate river. 263 Provision with respect to an interstate council. 266 Consolidated fund and public account of the India of the state. 267 Contingency fund. 280 Finance Commission. 300 person not to be deprived property save authority of law. 312 All services. 315 Public Service Commission for Union and for the state. 323 Administrative Tribunal. 323B Tribunal for the matters. 324 Superintendence, Direction and Control of Elections to be vested in Election Commission. 326 Election to the Lok Sabha and the Legislative Assembly of a state to be on the basis of adult suffrage. 330 Reservation of seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the House of People. 331 Representation of the Anglo-Indian Committee in Lok Sabha. 332 Reservation of seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the Legislative Assembly of the state. Representation of the Anglo-Indian community in the Legislative Assembly in the state. 338 National Commission for Scheduled Castes. 338A National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. 338B National Commission for Backward Class. 343 Official Language of the Union. 344 Commission and Committee of Parliament on Official Language. 350A Facilities for Instruction in Mother Tongue in Primary Age. 350B Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities. 351 Directive for Development of Hindi Language. 352 Proclamation of Emergency. 356 Provision in case of failure to constitutional machinery. 358 Suspension of provision of Article 19 during emergency. 359 Suspension of enforcement of fundamental rights during emergency. 360 Provision as to financial emergency. 365 Effect of failure to comply with or give effect to order given by Union. 368 Power to Parliament to amend the Constitution procedure rule. Therefore, 370 Temporary provision with respect to state Jammu Kashmir declare inoperative through presidential notification on 6th August. 371 Special provision with respect to the state Maharashtra and Gujarat. By this, we have completed all most important articles.